Okay, welcome back. You are still watching the State of the Nation on this event of the royal visit by King Charles III and Queen Camilla. We are still looking at the significance of that with Dr. Evan Sonyango, who is in studio with me. He's a lecturer and a researcher on matters international relations. We can continue from where we left Daktari. And when looking, I want us now to look at the key issues that the king actually came to Kenya to do. On the first day, which is today, he was at City Shamba in Nairobi to just see how Kenyans, young Kenyans, are doing urban farming. The king is passionate about this, right?
Yes. The visit of the king is actually tailor-made towards what he is passionate about. And if you see his program of activity, he was visiting City Shamba. This is an organic where organic farming is done. The king is very passionate. Yeah. For a very long time, he has been a champion for organic farming, and you saw him very, very excited. This basically continues what he has been advocating for all through. And therefore, as a nation, we really need to take up this element and get a competitive edge on it to either get some funding or bilateral agreements towards a promotion of this. In artillery, of course, you see, he's also passionate about issues of youth. He's set to look at the way graffiti is done in our matatus. Of course, as an environmentalist, he's also set to go to Mombasa.
Yes.
To look at how climate change is affecting the mangrove. All these, as you see, the way they are programmed, it is just what he has been living for and what he has been championing towards. So his visit largely was defined by what he wants, not what us as the people of Kenya would seek. And therefore, how should we come in? We should come in by now fitting into what he does and getting a competitive edge over it. For example, issues of environment, we've done so well. We've just had a conference on climate change. Probably this is an avenue we can open to talk about climate change and how we can do bilateral agreement and funding, considering that there are some disquiet in Laikipia, where the military bases are,
yes,
and how they are affecting the environment.
And I want us to look at that and also talk about the relationship between Kenya and UK, especially when it comes to military cooperation. And this is one area that they are going to focus on, how to secure the Greater East Africa region. Remember the problem of terrorist attacks. We still have that, and the British are working with us together, training even our officers in some instances. How important is it for Kenya to still rely for things like training from Britain or UK, for that matter?
Yes. Issues of security, especially regional security, are very, very pertinent to Britain and Kenya. Of course, being a colonial master, Britain has a lot of investment in Kenya. And therefore, securing Kenya is also securing part of their interest. And that's why they are willing to go an extra mile to secure Kenya. They secure Kenya from within and also from without. From the without, why? Because of the threat of terrorism. As they say that if Kenya is safe, East Africa is safe. If Kenya collapses, then East Africa probably would collapse.
Okay. So let's look at the issue of human rights. When you talk about the training, remember the British Army training unit that is in Laikipia, the Batuk unit.
Yes.
And there have been, complaints about human rights abuses, for example, by the officers. And then you take that you take with other corporations, British corporations operating in Kenya, which have done things that can be classified as injustices to Kenya. The Kenya Human Rights Commission, for instance, was up on Sunday. They gave a statement demanding for an apology and repatriation of Kenyans. Do you think this is the right time and the right avenue for such to be raised?
The question of human rights abuses in Kenya and just generally historical abuses are very, very sticky issues. Not only on the case of the British, but also we have atrocities that have been done by our own government. So we should ask ourselves, would also this be the right time to tell our own government to deal with issues of human rights? In where how I look at it is that yes, they are atrocity we cannot ignore, but probably there would be better avenues of dealing with them beyond now camp. For now, where we are and in a state of our economy, we should have just looked at this visit in terms of avenues that we can open to gain.
Yes.
And then the question of human rights are not ending today, are not ending tomorrow. These are things that we can deal with them as we go by. Probably we'll be dealing with them in a more sober way, in a more structured way, other than just coming out and doing it in a very casual way and letting it go.
Okay. And remember, this is just the first day of the 4-day state visit. KUTV, we are there. We are giving you rolling coverage of this visit. Today, we saw that welcoming ceremony at State House. These are some of the things that we still expect after they were greeted at Nairobi in a ceremonial welcome at State House. They attended, of course, they were to attend bilateral meetings. And then after that, a state banquet, which has just been held some few moments ago. After that, the Majesty was expected to visit United Nations office in Nairobi to learn about the work of the UN Habitat, which is actually the only UN headquarters, that is UNEP, UN Environment Program, the only UN headquarters in the Commonwealth. Then he was to attend a technology showcase to meet Kenyan entrepreneurs who are driving forward innovation in the country's tech sector. That, I think, happened at Nairobi Village today. Then after that, he was to host a reception focused on Kenya's young people and future leaders across development, trade, media, the creative arts, and environmental conservation, another area the king is really passionate about. After that, he was to visit Commonwealth war graves to commission cemetery, joining British and Kenyan military personnel in act of remembrance before hearing about the Commission's recent work on to ensure all those who supported Britain's efforts in both world wars are commemorated. Some of this is going to do in Mombasa, actually, and they were also to visit the Nairobi National Park to witness the vital conservation work being undertaken by KWS there. And there are so many other things he was to do. The Queen was also to meet survivors of sexual and gender-based violence and learning just how they are supported and sharing her own insights from working in that particular area. Lastly, the King will be meeting faith leaders from Mombasa's diverse community, hearing how they are working together to promote harmony amongst the city's population. That's actually from the website of the Royal Palace, that is from Buckingham Palace, just outlining how their journey through Kenya is going to be for the 4 days until Friday. But as we wind up, Daktari,
Yes.
do you think that this visit is going to bear much fruit after this? What do you foresee after this visit?
Yes, this visit for Kenya, we should really position ourselves to selling ourselves, because this is an endorsement for us that, one, Kenya is safe. Kenya is safe for investors, Kenya is safe for tourists, and Kenya is safe for doing business. So the visit is a real endorsement for us.
Okay.
this one coupled with other visits of leaders who have come to Kenya should be a plus for us, and we should position ourselves to sell because of this visit.
Okay. As you are closing or parting shot, I want you to give me a rating. How do you rate our foreign relations? How do you rate it out of 10?
Out of 10, our foreign relations, currently I can give it a 6.
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Thank you so much, Dr. That is Dr. Evans Onyango, lecturer and researcher on international relations. Thank you once again for joining me tonight.